Hey, what's going on, digital marketers, restaurant owners? I've got some information you're going to want to have. So, as the post says, I want you to steal my notes. So this past week, I was in California for a big marketing event. So I can move closer here, get a little better light on me. With Vince Reed. Vince Reed is an internet marketer, has been in the game 10 years and knows this stuff. And knows a lot of people that know their stuff. And he held an event. And the event was about 15 speakers, I think 14, 15. And there were probably another 10 big names at the event who were not speaking. So you can imagine there was a lot of, I'm trying to get this light right, there we go. There was a lot of knowledge to be had. So I wanted to walk you through kind of my takeaways and then also give you the opportunity to steal my notes. Granted, you won't be able to read my handwriting. My wife is going to transcribe them onto some notebook paper so that you can get them. And what we're going to do is, once we get those done this week, we'll email them to you. So you can go ahead and there's a link in this post that should be working right now that'll take you into Messenger, get your email address. We'll send you the notes later this week. But I'm going to go ahead and walk you through what I learned, what I found, and what I think could be instrumental in helping your business, whether you're a small business or you're an agency. Now, a lot of these are going to be geared more towards agencies, but also if you're a small business, that'll really help out. So let's go ahead and talk through a couple things. So number one, the biggest one I took away, the biggest opportunity for all of us. I'm hoping that this video will do it, and if not, I'm going to have to adjust it later. But it's called the trapdoor method. And so this post, when it's running eventually, and when an ad's running behind it, if I run an ad with it, there'll be the opportunity to have the see more, where there's too much text and people have to see more to get the rest of it. So this is called the trapdoor method. So this is a couple things that Vince brought up, and he showed some examples of companies using this in huge ways. But the trapdoor method is what he called it. And a couple of the aspects that a trapdoor method has. Number one, you want that post to not have everything they need to opt in visible. So if you think about it, it's kind of like a website below the scroll line. That if everything they see is above there, there's no further action. They can click there. And the reason is, in a Facebook ad, Facebook needs as much information as they can get to make that ad work better. And one of the best ways is somebody clicking the see more button. Just think about it. You've got an ad, and let's say it's 2 sentences like some of mine I've had in the past. And some of them on accident have the see more. But let's say it's a 2 or 3 sentence ad, and that is an ad that can easily be opted in from what they see in front of them. Well, imagine now that they can't opt in to that ad. And it looks like it is working because I see somebody opting in on my phone. The link's working. Don, I see on there. Let's say they have to click see more, and it opens up more, and the links are down there. Well, what the data shows is that helps Facebook optimize more, because let's say Gerard, who's watching this video live on Facebook right now, sees the ad. And there's no link there, but it's got more text, and he realizes he has to click see more to read the fire below there. So he clicks that button, and it opens up the rest of the ad. And he can read more information. That's where the buttons are. So the people have gone through not one, but 2 things. They saw the ad, and instead of having to click the link right there or comment to get it, they had to scroll down to see, how do I get the call to action? So Facebook now has the data on the people who clicked the see more, and that helps them optimize. And then when the person clicks that ref URL, like in this case, now I've got 2 clicks that show me that people made an effort. They saw the ad, they clicked the see more, they clicked the ref URL. So that's one big element. The first element way before that, though, and I just want to get that out of the way because that was my most exciting takeaway of the entire event from a standpoint of advertising for me and some of my clients, is a clean avatar. Is understanding exactly who your ideal client is. What they look like, how old are they, married, are they single, what kind of car do they drive, how much money do they make. Understanding exactly who your avatar is. Because if you understand exactly who it is, you can talk to them in a better manner. The content has to deep dive. You got to go to a deep level. You've got to get deep with what that person's looking for, and you've got to relate to them. And I'll give you a great example. I had an ad that ran recently for my agency coaching program. I've got the ROI Engine, which we're going to be developing even deeper after this conference. I got some amazing ways to really optimize that to help people that are in it and people that want to get in it go deeper. But the one thing we talked about there was understanding who benefits from Matt Plapp in this example. And the people that benefit from Matt Plapp are people who have not been in the game for 10 years. They have agencies. They know they want to have an agency. They want to get to the next level, but they're here. They want shortcuts. They want to speed up the process. They want to get from A to Z a little quicker with still a lot of hard work, but they want to get rid of the potholes. And so understanding that. But the other aspect of it is something that collapses time. So that's one thing I have the advantage of doing is I've created a lot of stuff. So I have a lot of people that I coach that by them working with me, I'm giving them the ability to collapse time. That instead of taking 6 months to create the Zapier sequence, it took me 6 months to build on the prospecting program I've got, it took them 3 weeks. So now all of a sudden, they have collapsed time, and collapsed time saves you money and makes you more money down the road. And then also the big thing is having a thing that does what you do. So in my case, I have the ROI Engine. I have the Prospecting Octopus. Those are two things, two products that allow me to relate to my avatar and allow me to go deep with them as far as the content, and that also allows me to collapse time. So think about it. You want to have an ad that's very specific. You know, they talked about one of the ad examples they showed was, hey ladies, do you want to eat cheeseburgers and donuts and still lose weight? And then they had a couple lines and they had the see more. And as you scrolled down, it had a bunch of information, and then it dove into their program. And into their program, it went deeper with regards to that avatar. They knew exactly who they were talking to. And then it had ways that they could accomplish that task. So a couple other things here. Let's go down the list here. And again, you'll be able to get a lot more in-depth notes sent to you if you want to go ahead and click the link below. Brand, mission, vision, and purpose. You know, who are you? Why are you that? You know, why are you doing what you do? What do you stand for, and what's your core message? I think a lot of businesses don't relate to their customers in that way. They don't let them know why they do it. Why are they helping businesses? Why are they serving this amount of food, this type of food? Why are they selling these type of cars? You know, why are they there? And then understand the core message. What message they want to get across to their customers. And a lot of times businesses fail on that. And these are in no particular order. What can you do in your industry that no one else does but other industries do? And this is a big one because I think a lot of us get stuck in this. I have a lot of clients of mine. They'll see a company down the street doing an ad or doing a promotion. Oh my gosh, that works awesome. I want to do it. And a lot of people stay in their lane, so they do that constantly. They constantly take ideas that are rehashed and do them. And everybody else does them. They've always worked. That's what we've done for 20 years. Might as well do it. Well, it was funny. There's two guys on stage that both mentioned this. And both of these guys, there was, by the way, 3 people on stage that are almost billionaires. And then a guy that I'm friends with that I got to talk to a couple times outside the room who's almost a billionaire. So these people are proven tactics, and this isn't old money. This is created money the last 20 years by them. But 2 of them said the exact same thing. They said, you know what? Go to a trade show and that's outside of your industry and look and see what stands out. What are businesses doing outside of your industry that nobody in your industry is doing? Maybe it's something crazy. Maybe it's something that makes no sense to you at first blush, but it's something that could really make an impact. Money and power resides in your list, but the fortune is in the follow-up. And one of the numbers the guy threw out that's real big on email and follow-up and having a list was $1 per month, every contact that's on there. And his concept was, you want to grow a list for any business you're in. Whether you're a marketing person, an agency, consulting company, whether you're a restaurant, whether you're a car dealership, you want to grow a list. And there's a lot of money to be had on that list. But the fortune is made in the follow-up. It's how much you talk to that list. It's how you talk to them. It's how you relate to them. That if you get a list of, let's say, 5,000 people that could benefit from your services, and you talk to them every once in a while, that's not where it's at. And if you don't talk to them correctly in the follow-up based on their prior actions, that's where it's at. So the fortune is in the follow-up. I heard a guy one time, a guy named Perry Belcher, who's also a pretty well-to-do guy, owns a company called Digital Marketer. His partner, Roland Frasier, was at this conference as well. And Perry once said, he's like, you know what? People say, are you spamming your list? Are you emailing your list too much? He's like, you know what? I email them as much as I can to either get them to do one of 2 things. Buy or drop off my list. That's the only 2 options. Either get off my list or become a customer. If you're not on my list, if you're on my list and don't want to be a customer, please get off because it makes, helps me optimize better. And if you're on my list and you want to buy stuff, hey, here you go, click here. So let's see, videos. Unlike this one, because this one didn't apply to this series, you want the first 5 seconds to solve a problem. What is the problem your business solves? I got a stink bug on my phone here. Come on, buddy. It's kind of funny. There we go, entertainment. So what problem can you solve within the first 5 seconds of a video? A lot of times people run videos on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. They got a cool intro. They've got them talking to somebody, and I'm guilty of this. But when you're looking at a video that's got an advertising purpose, that's supposed to get people to go from point A to point B to point C, you need to have that first 5 seconds solve a problem. So think about what the problem your business solves and how you can help get that across in the first 5 seconds to grab their attention. The next part, you need to talk about what you can do to solve that problem. And this comes into effect, we're talking about videos, kind of back up a little because I am out of order here on this one, that this isn't a video that you show somebody the first time they've ever met you. And they were talking about car dealers was the big one, is that every car dealer ad that's out there is talking about buying a car today. And so if you think about the first time your clients only hear from you, or your potential clients, prospects, is when you're selling something, you already lost. Because they need to know, like, and trust you. Excuse me. Excuse me. So this is a video when you're thinking about people that already have a relationship with you, that have already consumed your content. That video they see down the road needs, number one, how can you solve a problem? So they know MatPlap, they understand what MatPlap does, they trust MatPlap, and I come out and I say, hey, do you have XYZ problem? I want to give you a way to fix it. And then you go into it. But then after that, you kind of, here's a couple things you got to think about. Number 3 items here. Feel, felt, found in a why video. So if you have a video about your business, a business video about you, trying to relate to your audience, feel, felt, found. How do you make them feel? How do you felt? I don't know how to use that in a sentence properly. You see my public education paying off there. But feel, felt, found. Trying to figure out how to touch the people in the video in every aspect. Attention and trust. You've got to gain their attention. We talked about that first 5 seconds. You got to have their trust. And that trust comes from other videos, comes from other content, comes from not always selling. In this case, I'm not selling anything. I'm dropping some knowledge on you, giving some things I heard about from some people that are a hell of a lot smarter and wealthier than me. Big thing, though, when you look at your videos and your audience, understanding why do you want to influence them and who they are. So we talked about your avatar. Who is the ideal person for you to influence? But then more than that, why? What do you offer that would benefit them? What do you offer that would solve their problem? So understand that before you go in there. This one's a pretty interesting one. Vince Reed, his keynote speech was my 10-year overnight success was the title of it. And where that came from was the fact that it took him 10 years to become an overnight success. Is that he wanted to talk about the things that happened over 10 years that got him from A to Z, the successes, the failures, the changes of pace, the directions that they took the company different times. And so he talked about having a 10-year plan that too many times people get in business or people start something, even from a marketing standpoint, and so I'm going to try this for a month or 2 months or 6 months or a year. Nothing worth doing is going to happen fast. And so think about that from a standpoint of where you're going to be in 10 years, where you were 10 years ago. This was a pretty deep one from Roland Frasier. Every idea needs a hypothesis. So he talked about their business digital marketer, that every week they get together and every department brainstorms a few key ideas. Well, they take that idea deep. They understand a hypothesis around it about why this idea. What does the idea do? What can we do with this idea? What can we make from this idea? What can the customers benefit? So instead of just having an idea, before they get it past the idea stage, they put it through this whole ringer of tests. I'll have to find that and add that to the notes because they had a pretty cool takeaway. I didn't have it there. They didn't give it to you, but I know it's online. But it's pretty cool because what they do is they score it. So they've got this little chart. It's like, I want to say it's like 7 or 8 columns. And you put the idea on the left column. And then you walk through the conversation with it about what all it does. And then you score it. And you score it based on like 1 to 5 in each column. And you add it all up. And that's the ideas you work on, the ones that rank high. From a standpoint, okay, here's this great idea. Here's the hypothesis on it. Can it make me money today? Can it make me money tomorrow? Does it benefit the customer today? There's a lot of questions like that that help you score it to say that you're not working on a loser, so that you're working on something that actually needs worked on. Identify your superhero powers. This is one I really relate to, because I do a lot of stuff, and I can do a lot of stuff. The things I'm able to do for businesses from a marketing standpoint honestly scares me sometimes, because I've been around the block. I understand a lot of different media. I'm really good at some, I'm average at some, I suck at some. So understanding your superhero powers and sticking to that. And I tell you, this resonates with me with even outside of the business world, or my business world. It resonates with businesses' offerings. I go to restaurants, and I was at a restaurant the other day called the Burger Parlor. I'm actually talking to the owner today. Amazing product. They basically had 3 elements on their menu: burgers, fries, shakes. I go to other places, and they'll have 50 items on their menu. You can't be good at all of those. Why do you want to have a menu that 3/4 of it sucks? Well, let's say you've got 100 items on your menu, which isn't out of the question. I was at BJ's one time. I got a video on that on YouTube. But I'm walking through the menu, and the menu literally is crazy long. But they can't be awesome at every one of those. And that's a problem a lot of businesses have, is they try and be everything to everybody. We did this in our boat and RV dealership, and we failed in this. We knew we loved, and I see my dad's watching, we loved the outdoors. We loved fishing, camping, ATVing. And we started off as a fishing dealership, and we grew really well with that. Well, then we saw the opportunity to make money, because those same people were buying campers, buying ATVs, buying fishing gear. And we started just branching out. Well, that was eventually one thing that really caused a lot of problems in our business, because we didn't have superhero. Our superhero power was right here, and we went way out here. So think about the depth of the service and products you offer versus the width. Because the wider you go, the more thin you get, and your superhero powers get buried. Scale what's working first. That's covers pretty much what we just talked about the boat dealership with. We should have scaled bigger in the fishing boat world when we had Plaps, instead of going wider. And so think about your business, what you're doing that's doing really well. How can you take that vertical? How can you do that even better? Like my dad, for example, is a business coach. He's a master business coach. His superhero power is closing deals, is teaching people how to sell. Well, before he branches out and does other things, how can he get that to the highest level? Let's see what this last one is. This last one, here's my last note of just this page. These are my key takeaways. Identify your goals. How do I get there? Why do I want to get there? And when do I get there? It's kind of like vacation. If I'm going to drive to, let's say, Destin, Florida, from Cincinnati. Okay, my goal is to drive from here to Destin, Florida for vacation. Why do I want to get there? Because if I get there safe and sound, and I have a few weeks of vacation, family time, then it's going to be enjoyable. And when do I get there? Well, if I leave on a Friday morning and our reservation starts Saturday morning, I probably want to get there by Saturday. So think of that as your business standpoint. It's one thing I'm really identifying with right now is I've got 2 goals for my business. Understanding what it's going to take to get from where I'm at now to where I want to be. Understand why. Why do I want to do it? Why am I going to be happy? Why are my customers going to be happy? And then what's the timeline on getting to where I want to go? So those are my key takeaways. And again, if you missed the beginning, scroll back, watch this, click the link in this post. It'll take you to Facebook Messenger. It'll ask for your email address. It'll ask what business you're in. And then sometime later this week, I'm going to have my wife take my handwriting here and put it in her own writing, because if you get what I got, it's not very good. I probably won't be able to make out half the words, but I'll have to help her. So that's all I've got. I will see you around. I hope you're having an amazing day, amazing week, and I hope it's great weather like we have here in Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati this week. See ya.